Welcome to the Gremlins Invitational at Elkland, Pennsylvania. We're at the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex in downtown Elkland. Happy to have you with us from wherever you may be. I'm Jim Flanagan. You're watching the Gremlins Network. We'll be with you through the rest of this tournament. 3 games for the Gremlins on tap today. Just about ready to get underway in this one. They'll be taking on number 9 Grand Prairie Pirates. First time we've seen them on one of the broadcasts. The batting order for the Gremlins. Matthew Waugh back from his absence last week at Ashland. They'll be happy to have him at the top of the order. Eric Ochoa moving up to the 2 spot with Remeke out with an injury. Benny Noka will hit 3rd, Cole Evans 4th. Blake Hunter back also. Missed last week. He'll be in the 5 spot. Lucio Redemar 6. Abelardo Penuelas batting 7th. Ladislao Malarzuk in the 8th spot. And Nick Mullins will be the DP in this one, batting in the 9 spot. That's the batting order for the visiting New York Gremlins. They're the host of this tournament. Misses downstairs with that one. We'll set the defense for you for the Pirates. In the outfield, Chris Belushka. Over in left field, Braden Arcand in center. Scott Nihaj in right field. In the infield, Kevin Arcand. The veteran Kevin Schellenberger at shortstop. Travis Head at second. Corey Jones over here at first base right in front of our booth. Todd Williams doing the catching, and in the circle, Zach Pierce. And gives up a leadoff walk to Matthew Waugh. That's the way the Pirates shape up. We mentioned last night 7 of the top 10 teams, actually 7 of the top 9 if you want to put a fine point on it, here in Elkland. The top 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 teams are all here. Add number 8 AWP Lumberjacks and these Pirates at number 9, and you've got a whale of a tournament. Here's Ochoa. Ochoa, the leading hitter all season long for these Gremlins. Normally in the 3 spot. The typical batting order the last couple of years has been Waugh at the top, then Jerome Remeke, then Ochoa, Inoka, and Evans. So skipper Greg Leather moving Eric up a slot with Jerome out with an injury. It's been a bit of a challenge for the skipper Greg Leather to put the lineup together in recent weeks. Last weekend in Ashland, they were -2 on the DL. Remeke out with a bone broken in his wrist, was hit by a pitch from Marco Diaz up in Saskatoon. And Zenon Winters with an ankle injury has been out since the end of the Port Huron tournament. That's laced into center field. That one's going to take 1-2 hops. 1 hop off the fence. Coming around third, Matthew Waugh will score easily, and Eric Ochoa into second with a stand-up double. Pitch out over the plate. Eric just reached and drove it right up the middle. Good carry on that. 1 hop off that wooden fence out there. And the Gremlins, just like that, are on top 1-0. If you joined us late, just a couple of batters so far. Waugh walked and now comes around to score the first run of the game on the double by Ochoa. Here's Benny Noka. Ben, of course, a member of the New Zealand Black Sox national team. The Saskatoon tournament was kind of an interesting one for the Gremlins. They actually dropped they've only lost 3 games all year, 2 of those 3 in Saskatoon. And it was the New Zealand crew playing for the Black Sox instead of the Gremlins. So in a sense, they were helping to defeat their own team. Inoka, Cole Evans, Jerome Remeke, Tane Mumu, and even this game's starter, Daniel Chapman. So 5 of the Gremlins played in that tournament for the Black Sox. Talk more about that a little bit later. Benny's on-base percentage near the top of the list, leading or right at the top of the walks list. I think it's a dozen, plus a couple of hit by pitch. So regardless whether he's getting a chance to swing the bat, he's been on base and driving in runs. 2-2 count on Benny Noka. Zach Pierce doing the pitching for these Grand Prairie Pirates. That one sails to the screen. Ochoa will jog on over to third base and join Keegan Arcand over there on the corner. Skipper Greg Leather in the box for the Gremlins. They are the visitors, albeit on the third base side. Wearing the dark green tops and gray pants. If it doesn't look that way on your set, maybe time for a color adjustment. The Pirates in their dark pins and yellow lettering. Second baseman Travis Head creeping in close, swinging a miss on that one by Inoka. So he's down on strikes. First out of the game, first strikeout for Pierce. And with Ochoa over at third, it'll be Cole Evans. So everybody in that part of the batting order moving up a slot. Ochoa, Inoka, and Evans. That's been the heart of the batting order. Today, 2, 3, and 4 instead of the usual 3, 4, and 5. I think there's been a sea change in the manager's theories about the number 1 and 2 hitters in the batting order. Used to be some light hitting, people that made contact or could so-called move the runner. Now it's get the at-bats for the better hitters on your team early and often. There's a strike called. Tim Lyons, former USA junior head coach, a big proponent of that theory. Put your hitters at the top and let them swing. More at-bats equals more hits, equals more runs. Always looking for a crooked number instead of single runs if you can get them. The only way you can be able to beat these teams at the top of the list, there's a little flare. Cole Evans just reaches out and plants one in left center field. RBI single. In comes Ochoa. It's 2-0 Gremlins. Not an especially hard hit ball, but hit them where they ain't. And Evans was a little bit out in front off that front foot, but the good hitter that he is manages to keep his arms extended, just enough to lay the bat on the ball. Here's Blake Hunter. Swing and a miss by Hunter. One of 2 other players missing last week in Ashland. We talked about Remeke and Winters out with injuries. Matthew Waugh and Blake Hunter were both just not in uniform for that one. So 4 of the starters absent in Ashland. Skipper Greg Leather happy, no doubt, to get Waugh and Hunter back in the order. 10 hits so far on the season, and he is hit by a pitch. Evans will head down to second base, and still just 1 out. Here's Lucio Redemar. Redemar coming into this game with a .360 batting average, 18 hits in 50 at-bats, 14 RBI, 18 runs scored, and a couple of home runs to go with it. And we always note at this point in the year, both of those home runs were the difference maker in ball games. He hit that 3-run shot in the Hill United game, championship of the Chiefs Challenge, swing and a miss on that one. Gremlins were trailing at the time 6-5, and Redemar, a 3-run bomb, won that one, and then came out the next week in Port Huron against Martin Gonzalez and the Northeast Drillers, led off the game with a home run, and the Gremlins made it stand up off the plate outside. So it's Evans at second, Blake Hunter over here at first. 2 runs in. The only out of the inning, the strikeout against Inoka. Penuelas, the youngster, on deck waiting. Shows bunt, gets it down, but it'll be foul. The infield again for the Pirates. It's Arcand. Keegan Arcand over at third. Schellenberger at shortstop. Travis Head at second. And Corey Jones over at first base. Jones just a half step off the bag in front of Hunter. And Arcand right even with the bag. Maybe a step or two off the line. Just off the plate. Good location. Good velocity on that pitch from Pierce. So the Grand Prairie team, I'm sure, happy to see the ISC World Tournament coming west to British Columbia, a little bit closer to their neck of the woods. That one's fouled up and out of play on the left side. First time it's been out west in a little while. Keep that one on your calendar. That'll be the grand finale for the season, but some big ones before that, this one included. This tournament largely a field of teams that most people expect to be around to the final couple 3 days down the stretch. Best of the best. Bounces that one in the dirt. Surrey, British Columbia, August ISC World Tournament. Redemar with good speed, tough to double him up. If there's a ground ball, there is a ground ball over to Head. He'll take the only out he can get, and that is Redemar at first. Moving up 60 feet, Evans over to third, and Blake Hunter over to second base. So the out recorded, but Redemar advances the runners, and it'll give the youngster, Abelardo Penuelas, a chance to drive in another run. Penuelas picked up to replace some of the people who were missing in action in Ashland last weekend. And boy, did he have a tournament. 8 hits in 13 at-bats, 4 RBI, 8 runs scored, a couple of doubles and a triple. Pinch runner coming in. That'll be Redemar, the last out for the catcher Hunter on the 2-out catcher rule. So Redemar will run with much better speed at second. Redemar, Penuelas, and Tane Mumu, the 3 speedsters on this Gremlin team. Lays off the inside pitch. Penuelas just 22 years of age. Similar, I think, in his approach to the game as the youngster from the Drillers, Jordan Solario. Solario 21 years of age. Both have a similar skill set. Lays off that one. Coming down the line is Evans as the ball gets away from the catcher, Todd Williams, but he recovers in time. Penuelas 3 for 4 on opening night at Ashland in his first game as a Gremlin, so nice way to welcome yourself to the club, youngster. Lays off that one, but it's in for a strike on the outside edge. Tremendous speed going down the line. So again, defense can't take their time throwing the ball over with him running down the baseline. 3 balls and 1. On deck, Ladislav Malarczuk. In for a called strike. So the count runs full on Abelardo. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I think it's the most pitches that I've seen him take since he joined the Gremlins. Pretty aggressive at the plate. That one's a little flare. It's going to drop into center field. Coming around third is Evans. Right behind him is Redemar. So another little hit that produces 2 runs, and add to that RBI tally. Just a little flare, falls in front of the center fielder, Braden Arcan. Nothing you can do on those. Into no man's land, plus 2 runs. 4-0 Gremlins. Here's Ladislao Martelarzuk. Off to the races, sliding in, a little pop-up slide down there for style points. Abelardo Peñuelas, stolen base. Not much doubt that he would be sending Peñuelas 2 outs and a base in front of him open. Foul, tip straight back to the screen, just missed that one. Malarczuk 11 hits to this point in the season, 6 RBI, 10 runs scored, and a home run to boot. So good power despite his spot in the order down in the 8-hole. Swing and a miss late on that one. Good pitch from Pierce. Pierce trying to stem the damage here. 4 runs in. A couple of flare singles, produced 3 of those. Little flare by Evans, and Abelardo Peñuelas adding 2 more with a little no man's land blooper into center field. They're not knocking the cover off the ball, but they don't need to. The runs count just the same. In for a called strike, and that's third one. And the side retired, but not before the Gremlins post a 4 spot in the inning. 4 runs on a couple of hits. We'll go to the home half of the first inning. Gremlins on top by a 4-0 score. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex here in Elkland, Pennsylvania. And you're watching it on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be right back with the home half, get our first look at the Grand Prairie Pirates. Home half of the first inning. This is the number 1 ranked New York Gremlins on the field taking on the Grand Prairie Pirates. Batting order for the Pirates. They'll lead things off with Braden Arcan. Corey Jones in the 2 spot. Pat Burns hitting third. Scott Nehaj will bat cleanup. Keegan Arcan in the 5 spot. Kevin Schellenberg will bat 6th. Chris Walushka 7th. Todd Williams 8th. And Travis Head, the second baseman, will bat 9th. That's the way the Pirates shape up. Defensively for the Gremlins, a couple of changes. Abelardo Peñuelas over at third today. He spent most of the Ashland tournament in the outfield. He'll be over at third. Jerome Remeke, of course, missing in action with that broken bone in his wrist. In the outfield, it's Matthew Waugh in left, Benny Noka in center, Lucio Redemar over in right. In the infield, Peñuelas at third, Evans at short, Ladislao Malarczuk at second, and Eric Ochoa over at first. Blake Hunter doing the catching, and a newcomer to the Gremlins tossing his first pitch as a Gremlin. Laced into right field. That's going to be over the head of Redemar. And rounded second, he's going to go for three, slides in safely. Braden Arcan has himself a leadoff triple. The ball carrying over the head of Redemar out in right. Off of the pitcher for the Gremlins we were talking about, Daniel Chapman. So a good start to the Pirates, down 4. A little life we hear from the dugout directly below us on the first base side. Here's Corey Jones. Swing and a miss. Good pitch, dipper down below. Chapman, a member of the New Zealand Black Sox over the years, has suffered some back injuries from time to time, trying to get and stay healthy. Swing and a miss. Good location on that one. So comes right back, does Chapman after the leadoff triple by Braden Arcand. Misses just inside. Good snap, good pop on the ball thus far from Chapman. That first pitch of the game accepted. Defense for the Gremlins straight away. Bounces that one low. I was talking to Daniel last weekend, and he tells me that he learned some of the things he knows about pitching from Heine Shannon. Shannon, of course, the pitcher for the Black Sox, pitched in that 2015 World Cup. Canada, the gold medal winner, winning over the New Zealand Black Sox in that championship game. Shannon was one of the veterans at that time. I believe he started that game and actually came back into the game. Shannon, one of those pitchers that would throw when you need him. Circumstances didn't matter. Here's the pitch to Jones. Just inside. So the count full on Corey Jones. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Little changeup. Jones out in front of it. We saw Chapman pitching last year at the Boys of Summer tournament against the Gremlins, getting an opportunity here to start in his first outing with the club. Grounder down to Malarzuk, looks over to third, holds the runner Arcand right there, and then flips to Ochoa. 1 out. That'll bring up Pat Burns, the designated player for this Pirate team. Pat, fine pitcher in his own right, also good hitter. One of a long line of good hitting pitchers. One of the first that always comes to mind, the big fellow, Andrew Kirkpatrick, who retired after a stellar career with both the Australian national team and the Gremlins. Went out in style in 2023 when they won all the tournaments they played in, including the USA National Championship and the ISC World Tournament. What a way to go out. We say hello to Andrew Kirkpatrick, towards the head of most lists of good hitting pitchers. We miss you. Shows bunt, but maybe just moving defense. Not Burns and not in this spot, I don't think. Swing and a miss. That one drop ball away from the right-hander. Good location, good movement on it. way upstairs, throws the rise ball up and out of the zone. Always a little bit of anxiety or nervousness when you're coming out to pitch your first game for a new team. You want to do well. You want to show them what you are capable of. In the inning so far, Chapman's had some very good pitches and just the triple to lead things off. Misses away with that one, so a walk to Burns. Runners now at the corners. It'll be Scott Nehaj. That's going to bring a visit from the catcher, Blake Hunter. Having a quick chat with Chapman. First time he's caught him, of course. Cole Evans chipping in a word or two, talking about what they may be doing if the runner goes. Hunter, one of 3 catchers used by the Gremlins this season. Mullins, of course, the regular most times. Hunter playing several positions, including catcher, as does his fellow British Columbian compatriot, Brian Avery. Avery catching last weekend in Ashland with Hunter out. That one skips to the screen. Coming home to score is Arcand easily. Moving up to second base is Burns. So the Pirates have gotten one back so far, 4-1 Gremlins. Chapman looking for a couple of outs, trying to stem the damage at 1. Burns on the second base side of the bag, initially trying to look over the shoulder of the taller Daniel Chapman. Three balls to Nehaj. First base open with Burns at second base. So that took away the possible double play opportunity with Burns moving up. Floats one in for a called strike, little changeup. Got to have confidence in that changeup to throw at 3-0 in that kind of a spot. But a changeup it was. Penuelas tying his shoe down at third in a hurry. Now he's set and ready. That one's laced into right field for a base hit. Coming around third, Burns, the tag. And out is the call. Great throw from the outfield from Redemar. Guns down, Burns at home. Big out for the Gremlins. Single by Nehaj. He is at first base. So what looked like it might be an RBI single, just a single in the book. And Burns cut down. Great job by Hunter at the plate. Applying the tag, as you saw there on the replay. Here's Keegan Arcand, the third baseman for the Pirates. So 2 outs in the book on the put out at the plate. Just one more needed by Chapman to get his team back to hitting. Ball low. If you joined us late, Braden Arcand led the inning off with a triple. Ground out by Jones, then the walk to Burns. He advanced to second, then thrown out at the plate on the last play. Grounder, that one's to Malarzuk, bobbles it, recovers in time, flips it over to Evans on the 4-6 put out. Fielder's choice for Arcand, and the side retired. The Pirates get a run on a couple of hits. We go to the top half of the second inning. 4-1 Gremlins on top of the Grand Prairie Pirates. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from Elkland, Pennsylvania. I'm Jim Flanagan on the Gremlins Network, and we'll be back with you right after this. Leading off here in the second inning for the Gremlins, 9-spot Nick Mullins. And then back to the top of the order. Gremlins scoring 4 times in that first inning, almost all the way through the batting order. Zach Pierce and Todd Williams, the battery for these Pirates, the Grand Prairie Pirates, ranked 9 in the world per the new ISC rankings that just came out in preparation for the ISC World Tournament coming up next month. Gremlins holding at the 1 spot as they've been for the last year and a half. Hill United 2. Drillers moving up to 3, Bear Creek 4. And Circle Tap back in the 5 spot. They and the Toronto Batmen have been trading places during the season, so to speak, at 5 and 6. First it was Circle Tap, then the Batmen jumped above them, and then in the last set, Circle Tap back in the 5 spot. Only 6, 7, and 10 not here of that top 10. The Toronto Batmen, 7 JB, and 10 the Kegel Black Knights. Called third strike. Good location by Pierce. Leaves Mullen standing. So back to the top of the batting order we go. Matthew Waugh will step in. Matthew comes in 13 for 46. That translates to a 283 average. The on-base percentage much higher at 377, so not just hitting the ball, but finding a way to get aboard. He's got 4 RBIs, 12 runs scored. Five walks in total to go with the 13 hits, so 18 times aboard. Sometimes a table setter for those that follow. Sometimes he will take the ball out of the yard. Good power, good pop. In for a called strike. Pierce working fairly quickly. Not giving the Gremlin hitters a chance to get too comfortable up there. A ball and 2 to Matthew Waugh. Walked and scored in that 4-run first. Just off the plate outside. Pierce looking like someone who could throw a game in an hour and 20 minutes if the other side cooperates. Get the sign, get the ball. Here it comes. Hard one, grounder foul on the right side. The Gremlins with 3 pitchers in the dugout. Jack Besgrove, of course, the ace of the staff. Young Kuba Osichka. And Daniel Chapman getting the start here in the first one. That one's way wide. Looked like a ball that came out of his hand wrong. Pierce having a bit of a chuckle about it with Williams. Not the pitch he intended, of course. Beautiful sunny day here in Elkland. Fly ball out towards right field, backing up to the fence and running out of room. Matthew Waugh, home run to right field, solo shot. We were just talking about Matthew having good power from that leadoff spot. Table setter, not on that one he wasn't. That ball looked like it just got up in the jet stream. Didn't look like it was going to leave the yard at first. And I think out in right field, Nehaj looked like he thought he might have a play on it, just ran out of room. So add 1 to the tally. They get the run back that the Pirates scored in the first, now back to a 4-run margin. 5-1 Gremlins. We're up in the press box over the first base dugout, and there's plywood in the corner, so we can't see that right field corner as well as you can at home. Got to take a peek at the monitor to see where the ball's going. I was teasing Luciano that maybe it's time to add a camera. Grab one of those peel and stick. Laced into right field. That one takes one hop in front of Nihaj. And Ochoa with his second hit of the game. So the hit parade just continues for Ochoa. He's got something on the order of 7 or 8 hits more than anyone else on the Gremlins. He is just having a whale of a season. Here's Benny Noka. Ball downstairs. Swing and a miss late on that one. The ball gets away from Williams. Down to second goes Ochoa. On the pass ball. Lays off the ball away. Benny not quite swinging the bat as he did last season, not yet, but he's been on base a good deal. We talked about that on base percentage. Over 400, 8 hits, but he's got 12 walks and a couple of hit by pitches, so he's finding a way to get aboard and also driving in 8 runs to this point in the season. 8, coincidentally, the number of RBIs he had in a single game on the final day of last year's ISC World Tournament. So he gets hot. He can do it in bunches. That one's going to go foul just beyond the reach of Travis Head, who gave chase right around the short fence over there in the right field corner. Old-time ballpark here, the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex. A lot of little nooks and crannies. Some angles to the fencing like you see in Fenway and some of the other older parks. Wooden dugouts with a deck above each of them. They have withstood the ravages of time and termites. A little flare. Travis Head goes and gives chase. Gets a glove on it but can't come up with it. Ochoa waits until it falls and then heads over to third. Runners at the corners. So hit or an error. We'll let Greg Neidick, the official scorer, make the call on it. I'm scratching it as a hit. Tough play there. He did a pretty good job of getting back to try and get to it. I've always felt second base the toughest position on the diamond to play. That one example of why. So runners at the corners. Ochoa at third, Inoka at first. And looks like a ball has come onto the field. That's what the holdup is. Cole Evans spots it and steps out. Take a moment and say thank you to our friend Luciano Lofrano and the folks at Softball Premier TV. His wife Carol on hand, working the home plate camera from the first base side. Giving you the great pictures you'll enjoy all weekend. Swing and a miss by Evans. Pierce largely about location in his success against the Gremlins that he's had. Downstairs, good location. To beat a team like the Gremlins, you have to stay out of the big inning. They had one in the first, now trying to bear down and keep his team in striking distance. Bouncer foul up along the left side will go again. Ball and a strike to Cole Evans. That one's lifted into center field. It's going to carry. And it's off the fence in right center. You hear the bang of the wood out there. Ochoa comes in to score, and right behind him, Benny Noka So a 2-run double off the bat of Cole Evans. Watch it on the replay. You see that wide open stance, the ball up in the zone a little bit, and he just goes with it. Carrying out, you could hear the plunk when it hit the wooden fence out there. Evans with a 2-run double. And the Gremlins now stretch the lead out to 7-1. Here's Blake Hunter. So Matthew Waugh with a home run. Ochoa follows with a single. Inoka with that little flare hit. Both of those runners, Inoka and Ochoa, coming home on the double. High bouncer going to be up the middle. Around third comes Cole Evans. He will score. RBI single for Hunter. It's 8-1. Here you see in the replay one of those balls that just hits once and takes off. Big high hop and scoots right on into center field. Here's Redemar. Lucio Redemar grounded out to second in his first at-bat. Abelardo Penuelas waiting on deck. Ball just off the plate. The inning started with a strikeout to Mullins, but it's been a hit parade since. Homer, single, single, double, and a single. Last weekend in Ashland in the championship game, struggling the Gremlins were to score runs. Dropped that 2-1 game to the Northeast Drillers. Playing without 4 of their regulars, of course, but it looks like they are taking it out on the Pirates at the moment. Matthew Waugh and Blake Hunter both back in the batting order. Both have been aboard twice already today. Swing and a miss on the riser. A little ground ball to short. They go the short way. Head hangs onto it over there. Nice play by Kevin Schellenberg. Gets the out. Hunter erased. Fielder's choice for Redemar. So the second out recorded on the little squibber out to short. And that'll bring up the aforementioned Abelardo Penuelas. First pitch swinging. That one's grounded up the middle, past the diving Travis Head, around second and going to third standing is Redemar. So Penuelas with his second hit of the game. Penuelas, we mentioned 8 for 13 coming into today. That was a .615 average. Add 2 more hits, I'll let you do the math, but he has just been impossible to keep off the bases. Here's Malarzook in for a called strike. In for a called strike. Laddie, a late arrival over to the USA at the start of the season, so still looking for his groove. A little grounder foul up along the right side. Corey Jones will put it back in play. Malarchuk hitting just .220, 11 for 50 on the season. But he's got 10 runs scored, 6 ribbies, and a homer to go with it, so finding a way to contribute. Foul up and out of play. Nice seating over there on top of that third base dugout. I think if the sun stays out, you might want an umbrella or a tarp over there, but They have the equivalent seat that we have right here on the first base dugout. Grounder, that one's in the hole to right field. Around second, on his way to third is Penuelas. He'll stand up easily, and Malarchuk adds to that hit tally. And we've batted around. Here's Mullins for the second time today. Mullins, same spot, same result. Base hit to right field. In to score is Penuelas. Over to third goes Malarchuk on the single off the bat of Nick Mullins. So that's going to bring a visit to the circle, and it looks like that's going to be all for Pierce, just not able to get the outs he needed here. 9-1 Gremlins as we take a break. We'll be right back for the pitching change. The announcement of the new pitcher for the Grand Prairie Pirates, it'll be Pat Burns. Burns started the game in the lineup as a designated player, which means they drop to 9 as he enters the game to pitch and will stay in the batting order. So Zach Pierce out. Base runner at first belongs to him, so we can't close the book on him yet, but struggling to find out against a hot-hitting Gremlin team here in the second inning.
Winning number out of 50-50 drawing, 037-704. The number again, 037.
Gremlins have another game right after this one. It'll be the battle clash of the Titans. Number 1 Gremlins taking on the number 2 ranked Hill United. Hill United with a win last night, but got a much closer game. A great effort by the AWP Lumberjacks. Final score on that one, the Chiefs, a 2-1 winner. In the nightcap, Team 518, the group of youngsters from the East Coast, playing a good ball game, just on the losing end of a 2-1 game themselves. Bear Creek Express picking up a win last night. So the Gremlins and Bear Creek with wins in their pocket before they went to, Hill United and Bear Creek with wins on Friday night. Rise ball high, way out of the zone. Mullins started the inning with a strikeout, the only out recorded initially before a string of hits. The force out at second gave him a second out, and now Burns trying to get the third one, get his team off the field. 8 hits in the inning for the Gremlins. 6 more runs to go with the 4 they had. Wow, the pop-up high and over by the tarp and just out of the reach of Arcand at third. Looked like he had trouble picking up the ball. We'll see the replay. Tough chance over there. Got to stay clear of that rain tarp. You see him going back, and just kind of got turned around, turned the wrong way. Ball falls in behind him. Off the plate away. Waugh with the home run in his first at bat in the inning. He's been aboard twice today, walked in the first and scored. High and shallow, right field, on comes Nihaj, and that one's going to fall in. In comes Malarczuk, in comes Mullins. 2 more runs. Looked like a catchable ball out there, but I'm not sure Nihaj knew if he was supposed to take it or the center fielder coming over. Let's watch the replay and see how it shapes up. Gremlins have gotten bunches of runs on little flare hits today. Evans had one. Peñuelas drove in 2 on a similar ball. Here's Eric Ochoa.
Next batter for the Gremlins, first baseman Eric Ochoa.
So Mullins and Malarczuk coming home on that one. Matthew Waugh aboard for the 3rd time today. Little breeze kicking up, but the flag in center field hanging straight down, so not much effect. Ochoa lifts one into deep center field, going back and making a great running catch. Brian Arcand, that would have been another run, a great running catch. Watch the replay. You'll see the ball was hit beyond him over his head, but he turned quickly and ran it down. Nice catch by the center fielder, Arcand. So the side retired, but the damage done. Gremlins on top, 11-1. We'll be back with more right after this. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational on the Gremlins Network. So the Pirates finally getting a chance to come back to hitting. Gremlins on top, 11-1. Here's Kevin Schellenberg. Kevin, the veteran shortstop out of the Vancouver area. So he won't have far to go for the tournament, the ISC World Tournament in Surrey next month. First saw Kevin when he played with the Vancouver Gray Sox, who were an ISC World Tournament team at the time. Lots of talent coming through that area. Swing and a miss. Darren Zach, of course, the big right-handed pitcher, Hall of Famer. Spent some of his early years in Vancouver. Little grounder foul up along the left side. Chapman misses upstairs with a rise ball. Daniel Chapman, as we mentioned, his first start as a Gremlin. Mixed results in that first inning, but managed to stem the damage at 1. The leadoff triple by Arcand, really the only hard hit ball, but now sitting on an 11-run, 10-run lead. Gives him a little bit of breathing room, just a chance to work. Get some innings in, work on his pitches. Swing and a miss late is Schellenberg down on strikes. First out of the inning, Chris Walushka will be next.
The next batter for the Pirates, the left fielder, Chris Woloshka.
In for a called strike down around the knees. Good pop on that pitch from Chapman. Good velocity and location. Ball upstairs high. Gremlins coming right back at 1 p.m. to face Hill United. They'll finish the day at 5 p.m. against AWP Lumberjacks. So number 9 ranked team Pirates, number 2 ranked Hill. One hopper back to Chapman, makes easy work of it. 2 outs. And AWP, the number 8 ranked team in the 5 o'clock game. Playoff round tomorrow on Sunday, 9, 11, and 1. So 2 games at 9, 2 games at 11. And the championship game set to go off at 1 p.m. We'll be on the air again tomorrow. Hope you can find some time to spend with us. Here's Todd Williams, the catcher for the Pirates. Good hard one in for a called strike. Williams looking back, has a quick word to Hunter, maybe saying, was it? Pretty good velocity. Upstairs for a ball. Seems to have had better control and velocity on the drop ball. The rise has largely been a waste pitch up and out of the zone, at least to this point. That one's in for a called strike. Big athletic right-hander Daniel Chapman, newest addition to these New York Gremlins. Little one hopper back to Chapman, over to Ochoa, side retired. Good inning for Daniel Chapman. A 1-2-3 inning, no runs, no hits, and nobody left for the Pirates. We've played 2. Gremlins on top, 11-1. 11 runs on 9 hits. The Pirates 1 run on 1 hit. Top of the 3rd inning for the Gremlins. Correction on that score at 12-1. Pirates, of course, at this point in the game, having to think about the run-ahead rule. If they want to get their full set of at-bats, they'll need to put some runs on the board. Meanwhile, the Gremlins going back to work, trying to add to it, trying to finish the Pirates off early. Catch a breather before their game against Hill United at 1 p.m. Wouldn't be surprised to see the skipper emptying the bench over there, get some other players with some at-bats before the game is over. I think one of those on deck right now looks like Tane Mumu, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Mazmu up swinging a bat as well. In for a called strike. It is Tane Mumu on deck, so we'll see him next. The M&M boys, Mumu and Mazmu, filled in nicely in the Ashland tournament. Mazmu getting some starts at 3rd in place of the injured Jerome Remicky. And Tane starting in the outfield and second base, had some key hits in the tournament. Great chance for the youngsters to get some more experience. That one's hit to deep center field, and watching it up and out of here. Home run. Benny Noka lifts one high and deep over the center field fence. And Benny's got that swing back. No doubt about that one. The center fielder out there, Arcand, all he could do is look up and watch it sail out towards the flagpole beyond that fence. That's the swing that generated 8 runs in a game in last year's ISC World Tournament. Coach Greg Hicks coming down from the first base bag, coming over to our home plate umpire that we haven't mentioned yet, Mike Morrissey from Ontario, Glenn Brown from Washington on the bases. Again, Mike Morrissey behind the plate, so he gets the substitution, and Tane Mumu will step in. Ball low. Tani, of course, from the New Zealand area, was with the New Zealand Black Sox in that Saskatoon tournament and the World Cup qualifier in Prince Albert earlier in the month. In for a called strike. Tani's also been the #1 base runner for the Gremlins, getting a number of stolen bases. Greg Leather being aggressive when Tani's on the bases, and he is again. He has himself a single to center field. So Mumu was batting in place of Evans. Here's Hunter. Short day for Cole Evans, but a good one. Single and a double. Mumu with great speed over at first, and certainly could steal a base, I think, if he chose to, but with a 12-run lead, I don't see that happening. That one skips. Mumu stays put. Todd Williams doing a good job of keeping the ball in front of him. A 1-2 to Blake Hunter. Lays off the outside pitch. Hunter's been aboard a couple of times today, hit by a pitch and scored in that 4-run first. And one of a long line of base hits in that 3rd inning. Little flare. It's going to be out of play over on the right side. Beautiful setting here in Elkland. Grass all around, right on into the parking lot. You park on top of grass. Most everyone trying to stay out of foul ball territory out there. High and shallow in the infield. Trouble with the sun. And it's Travis Head able to back up and make the catch for the out. Mumu stays put at first. First out of the inning recorded. And another substitution here. Gonzalo Masmu will hit for Redemar. Gonzalo Masmu, the Argentine player for the Gremlins.
Next batter for the Gremlins, Gonzalo Masmu, batting for Lucio Redemar. Masmu for Redemar.
Masmu and Mumu were the newcomers last year, the youth crew. This year, Redemar and Peñuelas. Hard grounder to short. Schellenberg makes a great play, but tries to backhand it. And the ball goes wide. Over to third is Mumu. Schellenberg making a great defensive play out there to get to the ball. Tried to backhand it, unable to come up with it. There you see on the replay, gets away from Travis Head, goes into right field. So aboard is Masmu. So the M&M boys on opposite sides of the diamond, first and third. And here's the other youngster, Peñuelas. Ball inside. We'll check the official scoring on that one. Great play by Schellenberg to get to the ball. I don't think they get Masmu over at first base regardless, but we'll leave that up to our official scorekeeper, Greg Nidek. High hopper, that one's going to be backhanded by Head, knocks it down, but in to score on it is Mumu. Moving up to second is Masmu, and an infield single for Peñuelas, who, if my math is correct, is going to be somewhere north of 700 with that batting average. On base percentage, just plain ridiculous.
The next batter for the Gremlins, the second baseman, Ladislav Malarzuk.
Here's Malarzuk, a single to right in that big third inning. That one's into right field, finds a hole. Coming around third is Masmu. He'll score. Over to third is Peñuelas. And we are now at 15. So a tough day for the Grand Prairie Pirates against this New York Gremlin team. They didn't get their number one ranking for nothing, but just a difficult day for the Pirates. Here's Nick Mullins. In for a called strike right at the letters on Mullins. Lifted foul and out of play over on the right side. 2 games completed this morning at 9 o'clock. This is one of 2 11 a.m. games. 2 more at 1, 3. And then I think single games at 5 and 7. The Gremlins will play at 11, 1, and 5. 1 run away from a possible run rule. I think it's 15 after 3. Ball high. Certainly the kind of game the skipper Greg Leather likes to see as they head into the big matchup of the weekend, the number 1 versus the number 2, Hill United coming right up. That said, always had that feeling you wish you could put some of those runs in the bank and save them for the next game, but you can't. Laced into left field, right at left fielder Chris Walushka, tagging up on the play with great speed is Peñuelas. So Mullins with a sac fly, second out of the inning, another run scored. And we have hit the 15-run margin right now. There's the replay. Put a good charge into that one, did Mullins, but right at Walushka.
Next batter for the Gremlins, left fielder, Matthew Waugh.
Here's Matthew Waugh, his 4th at-bat of the game. He's been aboard all 3 times. A walk, the homer, the solo home run to right field, and then a single to right last time up and hit him. Comes inside and hits his shirt, takes it right out of his belt. Matthew not happy with that, but home plate umpire Mike Morrissey will give him an escort down to first base. Greg Hicks coming down to make sure things stay on an even keel down there. Glenn Brown, the base umpire, also sticking around. I guess it was Brown with the escort. Some words exchanged, always tough being on the short end of a big score like that, and tempers will flare. But Mike Morrissey, the home plate umpire, and Glenn Brown on the bases, keeping things calm down.
The next man for the Gremlins, the first baseman, Eric Ochoa.
It's Ochoa at the plate with Matthew Waugh at first base. Swinging a foul, tips straight back, takes the mask off of Williams. Somebody hollered about Gremlins tagging up and scoring with a 15 or a 14-run lead. But that, of course, could be the potential winning run in the sense that the 15-run margin after 3 would end the game. So that last run could indeed be an important one, regardless of the margin right now. You don't stop playing. Inside and Ochoa off the shin guard. Matthew Waugh will stay put over at first base. The Pirates at this point will need to score a run in their home half of the third inning. If you're a Pirate fan looking ahead, it's 9-1-2. Travis Head back to the top of the order to Braden Arcand and Corey Jones. Ball high upstairs. Burns came on for the starter. Zach Pierce entered the game in the third inning when we came back to the top of the batting order with Matthew Waugh. At that point, the damage was done and the mold set, so to speak. Just seems like everything the Gremlins have hit have fallen in, found holes. Ochoa fouls that one straight back. Ochoa came into the game with a .446 batting average, 25 for 56. 4 homers, leads the team in that category and most every other offensive category. He takes a walk, and that'll send Waugh down to second base. So we have batted around in this inning as well. Benny Noka back at the plate. Benny started all of this with a home run to straightaway center to start off the third. The outs in the inning, Blake Hunter, the pop up to second. There's a little slow roller. Travis Head will walk that one over to the second base bag, step on it, side retired. Gremlins on top, 16-1. We'll be back with more from the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex here in Elkland, Pennsylvania. Don't go away. Run rule at stake in the next inning. Home half of the third inning, the Pirates needing a run to extend this game. 9-1-2, Travis Head, then back to the top of the order. Braden Arcand and Corey Jones. Pat Burns would follow if one of them can reach. Arcand had that big triple to start things off in the first inning. At that point, the Pirates were down 4. Gremlins scoring 4 in the top of the first. And Arcand just hit a P and wound up with a leadoff triple. Chapman, a little bit of control problems, wound up walking a batter, and at one point they had 2 runners aboard. Looked like the Pirates might climb back in. But Daniel able to button things down in the first and then had an easy 1-2-3 inning. So he'll be looking for the same right here in the third to cap off a Gremlin victory. First time to the plate for the 9-hitter Todd Williams. Chapman bounces that one in the dirt. Good hard rise ball. That one upstairs for a ball. Hasn't quite found the range on that pitch yet in the game, but then remember we're just in the third inning, so he's not faced too many batters. Good hard one. Good pop on that one, in for a called strike. If you're the skipper, Greg Leather, looks like a good game for Chapman to be pitching in. No pressure. First outing for the Gremlins. Chance to get a look at Daniel. Let him get some work in as well. That one skips in the dirt for a ball. Arcand over in the third base on deck circle, trying to stay out of harm's way. Head swinging a miss on that one. Ball off the plate, and Travis Head is aboard with a walk. So, despite the score, Head representing an important run for the Pirates. The margin, the run rule, 15 after 3. Right now we're at 15. So Chapman needs 3 outs to close things out. We are back to the top of the order in the aforementioned Braden Arcand, swinging a miss late on the pitch away. That one's a little flare into shallow center field. Benny Noka will come on and make the catch. Out number 1. Some viewers would be saying if that was a ball hit by the Gremlins, it would have fallen in. Seems like everything has gone their way today. But the out recorded. Corey Jones will be the batter. Corey, a ground out to second, his first time up. Pat Burns to follow. Grounder foul. Little stronger breeze kicking up here in Elkland. The flag in center field blowing from right to left. The flag fully extended. That one gets past Hunter. Down to second goes Travis Head. So potential key run for the Pirates, notwithstanding the score. It's Jones and Burns with a chance to bring one home. Swing and a miss. Good velocity on that pitch from Chapman. Good movement. There's the rise ball in the strike zone he's been working towards. 1-2 on Jones. Advantage Chapman. He'll step off a minute. Wants to have a quick word with his catcher, Blake Hunter. So Chapman taking the runner at second base seriously. Wants to make sure that he and Hunter are on the same page. Meanwhile, the youngsters over on at short and third, Peñuelas. And we didn't mention Tane Mumu did step into the shoes of Cole Evans. Tane started as a shortstop in New Zealand, so he and Evans, two of the better defenders. Tane getting a chance to get some innings at his old position. Tane coming into a situation behind Cole Evans, a little bit like following Cal Ripken in. If you're a shortstop in the minor league system, it's going to be a while. So Tane playing most of his time at second base. That one stays up high for a ball. Just off the plate away, and aboard with a walk is Corey Jones. So 2 runners aboard. And Pat Burns with a chance to drive in a run here and flip the table on the Gremlins' hopes to conclude this at 3 innings. A little banter back and forth from both teams when the 16th run came in. Burns didn't look too happy. Matthew Waugh hit by a pitch or right on the edge of his shirt. Some words exchanged, but Burns with a chance right now to cash in a run that would unwind that run rule. Ball low inside. Gonzalo Masmu did stay in the game for Redemar, by the way. He's in right field. Swing and a miss late on that one is Burns. The ball away from the right-hander. Good shot of Daniel Chapman there in the close-up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Off the plate away, we've run full. Travis Head walked to lead off the inning. A fly ball to shallow center resulted in the first out. Corey Jones walked, and now Burns on the verge of doing the same. And indeed, ball 4. So 3 walks in the inning. Has the Pirates with the bases loaded, and Blake Hunter's going to have a word with his pitcher. Not the inning the Gremlins were looking for. Needing 3 outs to conclude the game after 3 innings on the run rule. Gremlins 16 runs on 12 hits. The Pirates 1 run on 1 hit. The owner of that hit at the plate right now, Scott Niehush. Ball inside. So no place to put Niehush. Big sigh from Daniel Chapman, trying to settle himself down, throw some strikes. In the dirt, 2 balls. Kuba Osika down on the sideline over there on the third base side, going to get up and throw. In for a called strike. Big strike for Chapman as far as he's concerned. Sometimes you get in the rut, you just can't get back on the road. Hard grounder, flips to home, back to first, double play, and Daniel Chapman gets the outs he needed. Pirates not able to come up with that one run. Hard hit ball, but right at him. To the plate he comes. Watch the replay. Big one hopper. He flips to home to Hunter. Back to Ochoa, side retired. So final score here from Elkland. New York Gremlins 16. The Grand Prairie Pirates 1. The Gremlins will move on and play the Hill United Chiefs. That one coming up at 1 o'clock. We're at 12:30 right now, so we're going to take a break. We'll be back at 1 o'clock with more. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex in Elkland, Pennsylvania. We'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com. Live it on softball.